Start recording.
We're going.
Let's just check my sound. Yes, that's working all right. Mic auxiliary. Mic auxiliary. No, that's all right. Yes, I think it's okay.
Maybe because I'm just catching that top of that computer. That's it. That's good. Right. Well, hello everyone. As you can see, I'm with Mr. Adrian Gilbert, who's written some fantastic books that you can see behind me. And today I'm going to be interviewing Adrian on, where is it? Aha! The Holy Kingdom.
Notice the title reads the right way.
Yes, I get that right sometimes on my channel. Sometimes, not always. Okay, so are you ready, Adrian? I've got a few questions for you today.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Brilliant. Okay, so much of the source material for the Holy Kingdom comes from Welsh records, collated by Cymric scholars like Iolo Morganwg. Morganwg, oh dear, yes. I need to work on my Welsh pronunciations. Are you still of the opinion that these records are reliable? And if so, why are scholars like Edmund Williams so maligned by modern academics?
Right, that's something else to show you.
He's off already.
Something else to show you. These are the Iolo manuscripts.
Oh wow, wow.
Here is the book itself.
Wow. Where did you find these, Adrian?
Alan Wilson had a friend, a librarian, and he had bought another copy of this, and this one was falling apart. It's even worse now. So he was willing to sell it to me, and I bought it from him. Wow. I think what happened is, about that time, we were talking about the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, a lot of libraries were clearing out old books.
Right.
You know, nobody wants this rubbish, do they?
Oh dear.
And so these things were turning up in jumble sales,
charity
shops, second-hand shops. Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett bought quite a number of books.
Wow, that's
that
incredible.
way, and this guy did as well.
I mean, these books are priceless.
Well, you know, I paid 70 quid for it. I don't know what it'd be worth now. Probably 10. But anyway, what this has is it has the Welsh text. This is Ancient Saints of the Island of Britain, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be all in Welsh. Bran Frendigay Ablich Chlediath E Gyntaf o Genel I Cymru o Digwyd. Excuse my terrible. No, I haven't got the right glasses. Oh, I have. Anyway, so that's all in Welsh, which is great. But when you go to the back, it's all translated into English. Well, so you got both versions there.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And these genealogies and so on that he gives, the kings of Glamorgan, and he goes through all these different kings and so on. Now, I've since, I got this and I thought, great. And I went to the British Library because Alan had a whole load of different links.
Yeah.
He put in Artorius Rex. Actually, I reproduced them into the Holy Kingdom. So you'll find those in the back of this.
Right.
Cottonian this and the famous Harleian 3859, which has the records of the marriage of Owen, son of Hywel Dda, the wedding lists.
Yeah.
I checked up a lot of these manuscripts, and I found duplicates of what was said in Iolo.
Wow.
Those are in the British Library.
Yeah.
So these people say, "Whoa, he's a forger. He doesn't know what he's talking about." Well, they haven't actually researched the subject. And Alan Wilson one of his favourite sayings was, "Well, Adrian, they have the great advantage of
ignorance.
Complete ignorance."
Yeah.
And it's true, they might have a degree in history from Oxford, modern history or something. That doesn't make them an expert on King Arthur, and let alone Welsh manuscripts to do with King Arthur. The Geoffrey Ashe of this world, I met Geoffrey Ashe. nice man, but completely misguided. But you have to go into the Welsh texts, and many of them have been translated, and a lot were translated in the late 18th and 19th centuries by the Welsh Manuscripts Society, who published this. So these people who knock them and say, well, they don't know what they're talking about, well, they haven't actually researched it. Now, what Alan did say is that there's a huge archive of Iolo's notebooks and so on in the Library of Wales at Aberystwyth.
Right.
And I think there might be some in Cardiff as well, but Aberystwyth is the main place.
Okay.
And people look through his notebooks and well, he's a complete fortune. Well, Alan said, you know, he was a bard. He was part of the bardic tradition. He was writing poetry too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so what they call forgery is actually him doing his bardic work.
Wow.
You know, I have no patience with these critics. Yes, there probably are mistakes. And when you go through these genealogies, you do find that at times there are different versions don't totally agree.
Yes.
There might be a gap in one and a few other names popped in another one.
Right.
So you've got lacunae and you've got different spellings very often, but you know who the guys are. And when you work with these manuscripts a lot, and at that time I was working with them a lot, you get very used to these names. Now if you look over there, behind you,
Yep.
you see those wallpaper things?
Yes.
Can you pull them over?
Yes, certainly.
Now, I went through these manuscripts. I don't know what this one is, there's nothing on that. It's just blank. Those are all gone. Where's the good stuff?
Ah, there's some writing.
Yeah. So I started researching and writing out genealogies. Now, this one is about the Lords of Clare. That's not so interesting for you, but there's a lot of that in my later book.
The Blood of Avalon. The Blood of Avalon.
Blood of Avalon.
Right, yeah.
What about them in there? So, this one might be a bit more interesting.
Right. Yes.
Ballymauer.
Ballymauer. Kinglad.
The lineage of Ballymauer, Lud, Tenofan,
Dumas,
Cymbeline, yeah. Guiderius, and Arviragus is actually Belin. I've realised he's not Gwerid was this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he died in battle with the Romans.
And
his brother was Belin.
Some people say they were cousins.
Well, I think they're brothers.
Okay.
And he's the one who married Genuissa Grisana.
Which we're going to talk about later.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll just show you,
That's really cool.
so you can see it.
Yeah.
That's one of the lists, and I've got lots of others here. That these are all saints here.
Is this the lives of the saints?
From that.
From that, yeah.
So I was doing my homework, you know. I wasn't just playing, and I wasn't just cribbing.
Yeah.
I did my homework, and I checked up on things as much as I could. And believe me, these texts do exist. So what happened is in the 19th century, and actually before that, in the 18th, there was a revolution in academia. It's partly to do with the Hanoverians who came over, and there was the Scottish rebellions in 1715 and 45, and that shook the monarchy. And they didn't want the same thing to happen to Wales. So they were already trying to eradicate the Welsh language. And come the 19th century, that was pushed even harder. And in 1845, I think it was, Bishop Stubbs, was it? I forget his name now. Anyway, he was the Regius Professor of History at Oxford. And he decided that all this history was rubbish.
It was Bishop Stubbs, yeah, I remember from the book now, yeah.
And he took all the history books and just dumped them in the bin and said that's not to be taught in schools, that's rubbish. we're going onto the German model, which was
scientific.
yes,
Yeah.
the Germans know what they're doing, you know, and they're much more scientific and goes back. It's the Romans who are the ones who started everything. These Britons before that were primitive savages, you know, painting themselves blue, you know, building mounds and useless things like Stonehenge, bunch of rocks.
Which some people say the Romans destroyed Stonehenge.
Oh, quite possibly. Anyway, so that's what happened to British history. And then after that, everyone, you know, if you were Welsh and you wanted to go to university, there were no universities in Wales till about 1899 or something.
Okay.
You had to go to Oxford. And the Welsh college was Jesus College in Oxford.
Yeah.
So that's how you have the Jesus College 20 manuscript, which also has a load of these genealogies,
Really?
particularly of the Brecon people, going back to the sister of King Arthur and her father. So it goes down that Moyrig way, down that way. So Jesus College 20, you can find these on the internet now, they're there. Jesus College 20 manuscript, it's actually in the Bodleian Library now, I believe. The Harleian 3859, you know. Those are the two main ones that talk about the marriage of the Virgin Mary and all that. Oh, not the Virgin Mary, Anna, the cousin of the Virgin Mary. Now, anyway, I went to the British Library and I wanted to check all this out, and I actually got hold of the original Harleian 3859 manuscript.
Wow.
It's a little book like that.
How old is it?
About 1,000 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe a little older.
Yeah.
And it's written on vellum, which is animal skin.
Right, yeah.
And it stank to high heaven. I was going,
yeah, can imagine.
In a plastic bag. So you go, and the writing, the monk who was writing, is tiny writing. You can, you know, imagine he didn't have magnifying glasses. He must have had really good eyesight to do that. But paper was obviously so precious, they had to put as much in as they could. And I think the Bruticilio's in there and various other things. And then at the back there was these Harleian manuscripts. So I had a look at the actual originals. And there it was about the marriage of Anna with Arviragus.
Arviragus, yeah.
And it was, I thought that was a colophon that had been written in the side of the text, from what Alan had told me, but it wasn't. It's actually in the actual text of the, so that must have been an accepted thing before that manuscript was manufactured, which would have been done at the time of Harold R, you know, for his son's wedding, you know. So it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know any of that at all.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's worth talking to me
Of
sometimes.
course it is.